we had been talking about whiteout conditions and blowing snow and a really big weather event pretty much all week long.
We came in and it was already a blizzard. It was really cold, it was windy, it was snowing.
I'd been out around Tura and Bonner and those areas, and just terrible conditions. I mean, wind chills down 20, 30 below in that vicinity, real gusty winds.
It was bitter cold, the snow shoveling out, and I think by Friday, everybody in western Montana could not wait for the weekend, and I was among that group.
I heard over the scanner,
Avalanche took out a home, there are people missing.
It can't possibly be an avalanche in Missoula. It's got to be way up the Rattlesnake or wherever it is.
And that's when you start to think, wow, is this really happening? Is it, hitting home for us?
And all of a sudden I started to hear all the sirens, and a couple of fire trucks went by, and I thought, oh boy, what's going on?
Got the last minute call from our producer, Melissa, and you guys got to get out, there's been an avalanche. And we went, what? No way. In Missoula?
A house up the Rattlesnake in Missoula was covered by an avalanche that roared down Mount Jumbo.
as the information was coming in, we were reporting it.
And I think really the first solid thing we had that we needed to get out there was that road, that area was closed. People stay away.
I remember driving there in the terrible roads in the middle of a storm, shaking.
I was only, probably a minute or two away, and so just turned around and headed right up the Rattlesnake.
The street's real narrow, lots of snow. We kind of worked our way up with that big live truck that we have.
Where can we get to? Where can we stop to be safe, but also to be somewhat close to the scene?
You didn't know if more avalanches were going to come down. And as a reporter, you just have to be on the scene.
Folks, though, are doing an incredible job of trying to help these people who've been displaced and help the victims who may still be trapped under the snow.
We talked about what people are saying, what people experienced, how the community is reacting, and what law enforcement is doing.
They all were saying, this is something we've never dealt with before.
We started getting some pictures and word of just how treacherous it was out there.
It literally changed minute by minute what was happening.
And so I was really concerned about the changing conditions there.
Things were only going to intensify into tonight. The snow was blowing so hard, not that we were getting a ton of additional snow, but what we had on the ground, which was a ton in February, was making for whiteout conditions.
I had the camera set up, and I had Dennis, and then I think Jill came out eventually too. And the snow would just come in, and you kind of lose vision of them.
It was like you're going to go on in 20 seconds. Jim was only probably 10 yards away from me. I couldn't even see him. And I thought, if they come to me now, they'll never be able to see what was going on. One child was rescued and taken to the hospital here about 45 minutes ago.
And you can see them digging, and you're just, as a news person, you're observing, you're taking notes, and you're getting video, but you're also thinking, come on, come on, come on, get him, get him, get him. Dig, dig, dig. And they did. And when they finally pulled the little boy out, everybody started cheering. And then they stopped, and then they realized we got 2 more people, and they went right back to work.
I've never seen anything more incredible than this. When we finally got to the scene, neighbors were running up the street full bore with their own shovels just to help, and the law enforcement were letting them do that in a desperate search for anybody who may have been trapped under that slide.
You knew you were involved in something that was really big and important to the community.
And I was really impressed by our community and how they stepped up.
The way that Missoulians responded, from the emergency crew to all those volunteers showing up, you just don't forget that stuff. It was really a remarkable thing.
I feel proud to be a Missoulian or be part of living here in Missoula.
It was just so beautiful to see the community come together.
It's not incredible that Missoula would want to help. It was just the way they were just focused. We're here to help, we're gonna dig, we're gonna do what it takes to save these people.
It was just one of the most emotional things I've ever seen in my life in the newsroom. I mean, there was no question. You had to take a deep breath and go, oh my God, wow.